All right, guys, check this one out.
This is Yucca Elata, soap tree yucca. It's found all over in the Southwest. Some other names: soapweed, soap tree, palmilla, palmella, amol, or soapweed yucca. Yucca Elata here can live up to 30 years and actually grow 20 feet tall. When it flowers, the flowers are really pretty. It's a white or a creamy white flower that develops. I'll show you, this still has the stalk on it, but there's no fruits, there's no flowers.
So here is a Yucca Elata that has the stalk of it still, and you can see where it has already fruited. The fruit's an erect, dry brown, woody capsule, and as you can see, they have already opened up. There's still some seed in there. Shake them out, help disperse that a little.
The flowering season is from April to July, and it varies which
There we
region
go.
you're in, with the preference to grow in rocky hillsides, mesas, grasslands, canyons, and desert hillsides. Generally, they grow between 1,000 and 6,000 feet elevation. Their range is southwest United States and northern Mexico. In the United States, Yucca Elata is found in New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Texas, and Arizona. Yucca Elata is listed as salvage restricted in Arizona. In Nevada, Yucca Elata is protected as a cactus, yucca, or Christmas tree. So if you're getting any Charlie Brown ideas, don't be harvesting them there. You will get in trouble. Make sure to follow your local laws and regulations where you are and look those up if you plan on using this medicinally or otherwise.
Yucca Elata has been used by various Native American tribes for a multitude of reasons, including food, cordage, basketry, clothing, and medicinal purposes. Yucca Elata was used by Native Americans for primitive fire in methods such as the hand drill and the bow drill. So you can use the stalk as a fire starter. It works as a spindle for a primitive fire bow drill method. The yucca stalk will also work as a great fireboard. You can even use spindle as yucca and the fireboard as yucca, and it has a low ignition temperature and will work great and will get you a coal going. You can then use your leaves and make your primitive cordage for a bow drill, and any green sapling will work just fine. The young stalk shoots are very tasty. If they're green, you can break them off or cut them off at the base and eat them. And they are just a light, sweet snack. It's a good snack when you're out in the bush. You can eat the flower buds, flowers, or the young flower stalk itself, raw or boiled. The flowers are edible, and some say they taste like Brussels sprouts if cooked correctly. I guess if that's your thing. It's used for clothing purposes, headbands, making basketry. The primitive soap made from the roots used to be used by Native Americans for dandruff and to promote hair growth. Maybe I should use some. The Zuni tribe would use yucca soap and ground aster and rub it on babies to promote hair growth. However, the saponins are poisonous and should not be ingested. The Apaches used the leaves to create rope and dental floss. The roots were used by various Native American tribes to treat upset stomach, inflammation, and arthritis, which I do not advise as saponins contain toxins, so do so at your own risk. The chopped trunks and leaves can be eaten as an emergency food during droughts. And I'll show you how to make some primitive cordage with it. Again, the yucca, it's nice sometimes to just chop the end. See how I'm already getting those fibers? That's what we're making cordage with there. Something else I will do a bit. Helps break up those fibers. Run my fingers through sometimes. Let it dry out after you do this, a day, even just one day. It'll dry out significantly. Me, I like to cut the needle off at the end now, when I'm making cordage anyways. Alright, there we have it. Those are all the strands we needed in order to make cordage. Like I said, I'd recommend letting it hang out a day. So, you want to find the center point of your plant here. Okay, fold it over. Center point-ish. Get close. Now you're twisting opposite directions. I'm twisting, if you had a 90, I'm twisting this section away from me. I'm twisting this section towards myself, okay? Until it overlaps. You'll see the fiber overlap on itself. Okay? Then you just continue that same twist, twisting away from me. But now, since that overlapped, it's technically going the same way. Stop, trade it positions. You twist it around itself is what you're doing. Then this one, twisting it tight. Hold, flipping it around itself, okay? Twisting, rotating it down. You'll start to get a little braid-like end going, and they're trying to untwist, but since you reversed it, they're binding up on themselves, and it makes for a really, really strong cordage. So we're twisting, hold it here, twist, twist, twist. I like getting it really tight. I probably overkill it, and then Wrong way. The more you do this, the easier it becomes, and you'll just get in the groove. You'll get more defined. your your braids, your twist will look really defined. At first, when you splice it, you might have your cordage like that one. I can show you too. It's been a while. It goes from thin to thick, to thin to thick. It's not huge differences, but I can tell, and it bugs me. But I mean, it's cordage that's going to work really good for tying up whatever I need. Of course, if you want stronger cordage, use more fibers and twist them over, and you'll get a bigger, thicker rope. If you're trying to get just a few strands to make some fishing line so you can sneak up on some trout, use thinner, fewer strands. Now, we're starting to get at the ends. Now, we'll do a splice. Okay, so you got your two ends. I always look and see about the diameter because now we don't have the one piece folded. We need two pieces, two separate strand sets to tie into these. And you want to just make sure you have about the same number because you see these are each individual strands. And that's what I'm saying. You need to make some fishing line. Use just a couple of these little tiny strands there and do this same twist. You'll get a small fishing line, and you can use that in a primitive situation or for fun or practice. But we've got a few here. We've got a few here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but grab you a strand. That looks to be about the same amount to me. Okay, so that'll be this side. Now, grab me a strand, pack it. Okay, which is, which is once again just a yucca leaf, pounded down. I use the back of a hatchet on a log. I'll show you, and then you pull the fibers, spread them out. The next day they're dry. A lot easier to work with. A lot easier to work with dry than wet. In a sense, they split apart so much easier dry, and you can get and pick. If I wanted to, I could pick three of these little ones and know every time when I'm tying in, I just need three pieces and make a really well defined line. And wet, they just want to stick together, but I like when it's wet and then it dries after you already twist, it really tightens up. So especially if you lash something while this is wet, go lash something up, some wood, let it dry. Oh, it'll really suck up on itself and get a good tight bind on whatever you're trying to lock down on. Anywho. Okay. So this one's a tad thinner. We're gonna just put this in there. And it kind of is a pain to overlap that far because there might be a little section where it's a little thicker. You got two strands coming together, a little extra, but it tapers out. So I always try and tie them together at the very ends. But on the other hand, you want them to be able to grip and make sure they're going to grip good.
So you just, I don't know, and half an inch, you want to just put them together, overlapping, half an inch to an inch. Okay. Then I find at this time, if I just twist that strand I'm tying it to, same way we've been twisting right there, a little bit like this. Look, it kind of ties in already. And now I got to be careful because we're not really weaved with it. Okay. And we're going to tie in this other one. Same thing, half an inch or so overlap. Trying to make sure I'm going the right way, and I'm going to twist this one in just a little. But then now, you just come back up here, you keep doing what you're doing. So, I'm going to tighten this, switch it. Dang it, we lost it. But I'll tie it in just a sec. I tied it in a little soon. So, twist this, flip. Okay, it's right there, so let's try and keep that. Flip. Oh, it's wanting to come undone too. That's okay, we're almost to where it'll just tie in good. Okay. Take some finesse, and if you can't tell, I'm not here the best at it by any means, but I've done it enough to kind of already found out where the real pains are doing it and how to mitigate those for the most part. Pull that back. And then once you get past the section where you just spliced it, I mean, you don't have to worry about them falling apart. And you just continue as normal. I could have went with a few more strands in each of these, but we're about where I want it to be. I mean, we're right going through the splice right now still. Twist and roll. Twist, roll. My arm's getting tired. And looky there. We'd have to splice it again. And just keep going with it. You could use it for a lot. I made that rope a little longer the other night out of yucca. Excuse me. Yucca Elata, to be more clear. And I got a good section of it. I'm hoping to make this into a cord for a bow drill and do friction fire with everything gathered off the land. I could have done it quicker, but I've had other stuff going on the last few days, so that's how you do it. I have a whole bunch of fiber now ready to go and make more as well. But that's how you make cordage from Yucca Elata off the land if you're in the Southwest and need some cordage. And now we'll make primitive soap from Yucca Elata, soap tree yucca. Nice little digging stick. So we're gonna go with this one here. Since it's small, we don't need much, so we're not gonna tear up a big old plant here for no reason. Now, I've never done this. I've never used the root myself, so we're gonna see how it goes. But this is Yucca Elata, and they call it the soap tree yucca for this reason. You can cut the roots up and pound them and add water, and you'll get a soapy, suddy mixture. And it works too as a soap, as like a crude soap. Guess I got a dig-in stick for a reason. Oh.
So one thing, I normally would have looked to see if what kind of root it was, elongated, or if it was a long taproot, and I did not. I don't recall seeing that, but for some reason, it's already starting to look like it's a big long taproot. So we'll see, but check this out. Tiny little offshoot roots too, but big taproot. I believe that's what it is. I don't know how long it goes, but we shall see. Oh. So that right there is called the trunk. I don't think we're to the root yet. That's the trunk of these, which can grow quite long, but that's the trunk of Yucca Elata. See if I get a little better lighting. Okay, there's the trunk. Soap tree yucca. And the root feels like it widens up maybe into a ball. I don't know. We're going to keep digging. Widen this up. Fill it back in when we're done here. One of the easiest, most helpful tools ever. Digging stick. I see some people who go forage and they take those little garden shovels, but little stick, make you little ads if you need it. Get on out there. This trunk sometimes will be sticking way out of the ground too. And then you'll have the yucca. Then it'll have the stalk shooting up with the nice white creamy flowers atop it. But they don't flower every year. And if they did flower, it was this spring. They flower in the spring and they grow during the summertime. Look at that. So we might have been wrong about the long taproot. It might be horizontal and elongated. But let's keep digging. At first I was mistaking the trunk for the root. Well, there's more. I wonder if that's part of its root system as well. Or if that's part of a tree. Try and keep it out of our way there. Oop. See there. All right. So, elongated, not a big taproot. It's quite thick. All right. Yucca Elata, soap tree yucca. We dug up the root here. That's where it gets its name from. And we are going to make a soap with it. Looks like I got it all out on this one. Lost a little in there. Make sure if you're doing this, it's legal in your jurisdiction. And also that you are ethical about sourcing. Take what you need, leave the rest, make it no trace, and save some for the next generations. This plant's vital, and I understand wanting to use it, but take a lot of care in any plants you use. Don't just harvest them all. Don't take them all. Don't take a big old root that you're not going to need or use for soap and then waste later on. All right, here are the roots to Yucca Elata, soap tree yucca. We're going to cut them into manageable chunks, find a smashing stone, and smash them down. Looks good enough for me. Okay, for some reason my camera was not recording. Here is soap tree yucca, Yucca Elata, and this is the root. The root can be used as soap because of the saponins found naturally occurring in it. Saponins are natural occurring compounds found in many plants. They are toxic, however, so you do not want to ingest them. Numerous Native American tribes used the roots medicinally as well to treat a variety of different ailments, but they had years of experience, millennia of experience doing this, and a lot of us do not. I would not recommend it. They are toxic. They do have great secondary uses, such as soapweed yucca. If you do decide to use any of this, talk to your healthcare provider first, as natural medicines can react with current medication, and that would just not be good. So don't just take what I'm saying and go out there and do it. Do your own research as well. Anywho, I thought I was recording, but I was not. This root I thought was going to cut a lot harder. Cut really easy. It's not like cutting through wood. I could probably snap it. Yep. You break it up into little chunks, smash it down, and you will have soap. The saponins in soap tree yucca, Yucca Elata,
are what's responsible for this lathering action. The saponins in this are a natural surfactant, which basically means they break the surface tension of water and they allow dirt to emulsify, dirt and oils to emulsify and be easily washed away with water. We are going to attempt that. There are other plants as well, like common snowberry, that have the same effects. The berries are full of saponins. You crush them and they can be used as soap. Anytime I use anything like this, I have a lot better luck if I it's another thing. I do believe they said to take the bark off. That will help peel the outer layer. That is correct. Trying to skip a step. So do that first, probably. But if you mess up, it's not real hard. They would also use this not just to clean. Native Americans would use this soap to wash their hair, baskets they weaved, clothing they had made, and their own body. But it was also used in for spiritual reasons and ritualistic reasons. It was used as well to cleanse the spirit. They believed since it worked to cleanse you, it would cleanse the spirit before getting married or certain other ceremonies. So it didn't only cleanse the body, it cleansed the spirit as well. So it's a very sacred plant, as many are to Native American cultures across the nation. It's kind of dry up here, but we'll see. I should probably rip it right there. This isn't really dry. It feels pretty punky and it doesn't have a lot of moisture content. Either way, nothing to waste. Back into nature. Now, one last small piece. Feels pretty dry too, but it's only at the ends, if you've noticed. The ends feel dry, and I don't know how well they'll work. Do it right there. Okay. So, you could use a rock. I am going to use a hatchet head. I have the back of one to break this up and uh,
Hammer it down. Be very careful if you're using a hatchet, obviously. That's a good moist one right there. That piece is really nice. And it smells just as you would think, like yucca if you've ever been around it. But let's go see what it does. We got our Yucca Elata here. Soap tree yucca. A little primitive ball of soap here. Okay. Okay, we got this old project table here. Actually, it's the last time this thing's gonna get used. I'm throwing this in the dump in a minute. Yeah. So here's our root smashed up. Like I said, it's the first time doing it. I don't know if I need to mash it more or not, but we will see. Normal water, tap water. Said you want to squeeze it, suds. Oh yeah, that feels soapy. Look at that. See that? You can tell it's the saponin starting to work. Feels really good. Slightly slimy, honestly. But those saponins will emulsify dirt and oils and just peel it off your hands after rinsing with water. Feels clean, honestly. And that's barely any out of there to wash my hands. You have to get this wet first and then squeeze it and you'll get that suds action. Surfactant properties, so it will break the surface tension of water and it emulsifies the oils and dirts, allowing them to be rinsed away easier. This is Yucca Elata, soap root yucca. This is the root of the plant itself, and it is so far working really well. You can see the suds in the water. Let's see what we can get going on more. Oh yeah. And once again, those saponins are toxic, although Native Americans would use it internally for arthritis, inflammation, and stomach pain. I do not recommend that, once again. Do you see all those suds though? This is working quite well. Yucca Elata. soap tree yucca. You see that? And of course, it's not going to set up like a commercial soap would, not as much. But that is awesome. It works great. I recommend using that. It smells like a yucca product. I don't know how to explain it, but if you were to bust open a yucca leaf and smell it, that's what it smells like. Or when you're hitting the cordage, look at that. Yucca Elata. Look at that. Look at that. The emulsification properties of this are awesome. Look at it bubbling in there. Natural occurring saponins in Yucca Elata. And once again, this was also used in ritualistic purposes, where they would cleanse themselves before wedding or special ceremonies. So it's a very important plant. All right, guys. Thanks for checking it out. Please give me a like if you got any knowledge from that. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. And most of all, stay untamed out there.